Hello, this is your RPG archivist. It is early in the morning, and thought this might be the only time I get an opportunity to do this video. It's already past my own deadline that I've set, which was the 15th, oh no, Valentine's Day. This would have been out on Valentine's Day if I had gotten it out on time. But yes, as promised, Forgotten Temple of Tharizdun by Gary Gygax. It's an adventure module for advanced Dungeons and Dragons, as it will tell you on the back. I'm going to flip it over, I'll show you the back. Interesting pick, huh? Yeah. This product is only one of many popular playing aids for the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons fantasy adventure game, produced by TSR Hobbies Incorporated. Playing aids currently available for the AD&D game system include... Yeah, so you got an entire list of all the stuff that they got going on for Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, because I think when this was published in '82, they were really pushing Advanced Dungeons and Dragons over regular Dungeons and Dragons. I remember most people had switched to Advanced Dungeons and Dragons at that point. So look at this cover. This is a very unusual cover. It's got a very odd color scheme to it. Somewhere in the module says who did the art. Recall there was something interesting about the person who did the art, but I can't recall it off the top of my head. Yeah, I typically do these things unscripted. But the description of the module is actually on the front cover, which is kind of weird. This special module is a combined wilderness and dungeon adventure scenario. It contains background information, referees' notes, encounter keys, outdoor and dungeon level maps, and new monsters and treasure. While it is designed to interface with the lost caverns of Sozocanth, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, this module is capable of standing alone. Likewise, while it is placed within the Greyhawk campaign, it can easily be adapted to play in any individual campaign which employs the Advanced Dungeons & Dragons game system. Well, that told you a lot about the Forgotten Temple of Tharizdun, didn't it? Beginning to see why this one did not sell that well. At least I don't think it did. I don't know too many people that really talk about this adventure excitedly. It's by Gary Gygax, but it's one that you don't hear a lot about. Usually you hear about Tomb of Horrors all day long. All day, every day. Forgotten Temple of Tharizdun? Not so much. Well, let's have a look at some of this. I'm going to start with the wilderness map. Since the book doesn't tell you on the covers, I will definitely be telling you. Look at that classic TSR. All that blue. They made these maps in this blue color to prevent photocopying, because they really cared about that sort of thing back then. Nowadays, you got people, they'll look at a map made by a company and they'll go, that map kind of sucks, and then they'll make their own map, and then they'll publish it for free online, which I think is a hoot. But yeah, this is a big map, and somewhere in here is your starting point. Down here somewhere, maybe it's on 2? I don't know. There's a village of gnomes that are getting raided by monsters, mostly Norkers, and they enlist the party to go investigate, find out where this is coming from, and hopefully stop it. So you've got this entire wilderness to explore with keyed areas all over. There's a few good places for extra adventures that have nothing to do with the temple itself. In fact, let me pull the book out again. That's a cult. I know what it looks like, but yeah, it's supposed to be a cult. Let's see. There is the Valley of the Lacrocia? It's one of the weirder monsters, I think, from the Fiend Folio. Got your wilderness encounters. You've got a griffin encounter. You have a Valley View of the, there you go. Maybe you could pronounce that better than me. Lacrota? Let's see, the Plateau of the Arakakra. And, yeah, there's a lot going on there. Eventually, your party will make it to the Forgotten Temple of Tharizdun. And let me show you this. Aerial view of the temple. You need this to get an idea of what you're looking at. It's effectively kind of a two-tiered ziggurat of sorts. Oh, speaking of, this is an orc lair that is on the wilderness part of the map. So, yeah, there's an entire dungeon that has nothing to do with the main dungeon that your party could run into. You could, if you wanted to, you could just drop this into your campaign by itself. Say you're having trouble with orcs and don't know where they're coming from, whatever, the party goes out and here's your orc lair. And yeah, again, it has nothing to do with the temple itself. If I remember right, these guys don't even know anything about the temple. Anyway, now let's look at the interior map. This is interesting, guys. How do I explain this? Gary Gygax helped develop this game through a skirmish battle game called Chainmail. This shows if you're going through the front door and there's only one other place you might maybe be able to find other than the front door, but it's a big maybe. But if you go through the front door, this is a very dangerous encounter, and I'll show you why. Right over here, you got all these rooms full of different monsters. Primarily Norkers. If you don't know what a Norker is, that's fine. No, most people don't use them. They're basically a goblin variant. Tougher, meaner, smarter goblins. That's in Norkers. When the players try to come through here, it's a siege. In fact, this adventure assumes the party has brought a small army with them. In fact, if pressed, you might be able to get the gnomes to send about 12 people with them to fight. Yeah, but this is one heck of a battle because you've already got Norkers up here guarding the place. They're going to send down an alarm to the rest of the temple, and creatures from everywhere are going to come up the stairs. In fact, there's like a table on when each new monster shows up the stairs and what they do. So yeah, that's a very dangerous tactical combat situation. Your players had better be on their toes. This is not a module for beginning players. I know it starts at level 5, it's at levels 5 to 10, but yeah, this had better not be your first level 5 adventure. It is a bugger bear. But assuming you get past all this mess and go down into the temple proper, you've got the entire temple to deal with. The temple of Tharizdun, and players don't even find out what the temple is for until later. Temple of Tharizdun is an evil location that has been hijacked by creatures, monsters, and orcers specifically, led by a mountain giant. These creatures don't care what this temple was originally for. They have certain places they avoid. They don't like this section for good reason. This is like the main church area, if you will. And they've set up shops in all the other rooms all the way around. They're living here and using it as their raiding outpost to go after gnomes and other people. This is where the module kind of breaks down, because you've got two things going on at the same time. You have the skirmish battle up top, and then you go down into the temple and it becomes mostly exploration and some combat if you didn't already deal with if you've already dealt with all the monsters that went up the stairs. Where it really starts to break down is here. Check this out. Areas 18, 19. This whole place is not a good place to be in, to be honest, but in order to advance through the rest of the adventure, you got to go through it. But you've got 18, 19, 20. And I want to show you what we have listed in these areas there. 18, 19, and 20. I've marked pages, by the way. Alright. Number 18 is the altar rail. So you got an altar rail. It's about 3 foot high, made of purple stone. Purple is a very common common color in this adventure. Got your altar rail, and then you go to 20, the raised section. You see a problem here? 18, and then 20. 18, and then 20. That's just a little bit confusing. There's no 19 listed. None. So what is 19? Who knows? I just assume ignored, but even more grievous is this bit here. Got 2 rooms here, and there's like a door dividing them. But this looks like a raised section. Why is there even a door here? This part should be blocked off completely by something. Maybe it was supposed to be a curtain, maybe. No, it's not, because it clearly says in the book that this is a wall. But there's no way in. And yeah, you say, well, there's these secret doors over here. No. Because this is the vestry. And this is the sanctum. You've got to be able to get to the parishioners, I guess, for lack of a better word, the temple goers, from here. You got to. This is a fail. A small fail, but a fail nonetheless. TSR had a problem with their maps. A good example is Dungeon Module X1, which is the Isle of Dread, where they accidentally they did a reprint, and they accidentally did not list the entrance to a dungeon that's on that island. So you have all this dungeon that could not be explored because there was no entrance to it. It was just underground for some reason. I guess you had to dig your way to the bottom. But I don't think they were all done by accident, because I've got another one for you. This one's a hoot. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, we're down into the dungeon level of the map. Things start to get interesting-ish. You got a storeroom, and that is number 9. Oh, and number 10. Let's say 7, 8, 9, and 10, if I remember right. They're all storerooms of some sort or another. So, let's see. I'm going to read this for you. Storeroom number 9. Places filled with broken furniture, pieces of wood, limbs, logs, branches, sticks, and all in a heap. The whole room is filled with this mess. If this seems likely that the place is used to store firewood for the inhabitants above. Ah, this is it. Treasure. There is nothing in the room, but if 6 turns are spent moving wood out of the place, the party will be able to see the door to the south and enter the room beyond. Okay. Room to the south. Ooh, mysterious door. Where is this room? Door to the south. There it is. You can enter this room if you move all the wood out of here for 6 turns. Neat, huh? That's the door you came in, isn't it? Yes, it is. There is no door to the south other than the one you came in. So, I don't know if that was a typo, or if Gary Gygax got bored and started trolling his dungeon masters. I don't know. So those are some of the map things that I found that were kind of iffy. Nevertheless, overall it's a good module. The really good stuff is super, super hidden. Let me go back to this map. All these secret doors, and this is in a 10-foot scale, but you go down here, and this is the blow up of it, and it's all turned into a 5-foot scale. So you have to go through all this rigmarole here, get down to here, and find this entrance that leads down, 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 down to the black cyst. The black cyst is the whole reason the temple is even here. So, their god, Tharizdun, he is trapped. They don't know where he is. And for many years, this cult lingered, trying to find a way to free their evil god. And the only thing that gives them any encouragement is this thing down here at the very bottom. Yeah. But getting here is a pain in the butt. Finding it is a pain. And in the end, the treasure isn't really all that worth it. It's a very, very dangerous trek to get to this point. Is it worth it? I don't know. I don't think so. But the players don't know that. There is a couple neat things down here. Extra treasure, whatever, but I don't know. So, is it a good module? It's okay. your DM might want to do some changes. This is Gygax's attempt at cosmic horror. It fails to deliver the horror. You do get an impression that this place was definitely not made by Norkers, nor giants, or anything, that this is a sanctuary for an evil god. And there's the mystery. You got a mystery your players are going to want to unravel, maybe. And that's about it. It's not particularly spooky, just really weird. So, it's okay. Not great. It's okay. I would run it, though, eventually, but I have like so many other things I would run before I'd run this one. And I did say I wanted to do a compare and contrast. At one point, you got, if you want one that's done better, Death, Frost, Doom for Lamentations of the Flame Princess. It does not have the tactical combat that you'll find here. And this is short compared to this, because there's a lot of exploration in this one. The whole wilderness adventure thing, you got random encounters, you've got different valleys with different things. But comparing the two is really apples and oranges. This is old D&D style at its core. And old D&D had its roleplay elements, but it was really a combat game. This over here, they're not the same. I really get a sense of foreboding and evil. This I get a sense of just weird and odd. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. They're both good, but for my money, this is a little better. Yeah. There's something else I wanted to mention. Oh yeah, there are some, there are a couple of traps in here that could kill a player. They're not insta-kill traps like the ones over here. But unlike this one, a couple of these, the traps in this one, can't easily be avoided by not doing dumb things. There is one trap, you at least get a saving throw. But there's like one trap in here that is something that any party with any sense would do anyway. But if they do, they got to make a saving throw or risk getting a nasty thing happen to them that could kill them within hours. And good luck having the right spell to remove it. This one has instant kill traps with no saving throws. But to be fair, those are things you shouldn't have been doing to begin with. Yeah. So I thought it would be fun to compare and contrast the two adventures, and it really didn't. Again, apples and oranges. Yeah. But anyway, Forgotten Temple of Tharizdun. I like it. I really do. As much as I pointed out all the flaws, it's not a bad adventure. It's just not great. There are some... Oh, before I log off on this, I wanted to show the back, because there is something interesting about this is I found fascinating. Okay. You got your two new monsters. You got the Annis, and you got the Boggart. And the Annis are related to night hags. They are effectively giant hags. And the Boggart, according to this, are young will-o-wisps. And they change shape, and you really can't tell what... I can't, except for the fact that they could temporarily turn into a will-o-wisp. I don't see the connection. But they're an interesting monster that you could encounter. But I think the most interesting are the two new magic items, the Wand of Force and the Beads of Force. So your Beads of Force, think of it as a necklace of fireballs, only it does force damage. And then the Wand of Force has like 3 different functions, but one of those functions is effectively makes it, and I kid you not, effectively makes it a lightsaber. It is kind of cool. Makes me laugh. It effectively becomes a lightsaber, and I'm going to spoil it. It's all the way down at the very bottom in the black cyst area. You gotta look for it. It's hard to find. But if my players go through all the trouble to go all the way down there and actually find the stupid thing, I'll allow it. Heck yeah. Anyway, this is longer than my average video. I didn't think I would talk this long. Lost Temple of Tharizdun. This is your RPG archivist, and see ya.